We're live with another episode of BS Busters. It's been a interesting week. I'm glad everyone could join. Introduce yourselves.
We'll let the lady go first. Jewel.
Joel.
Sorry, parched.
Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Bullshit Busters. I'm Moonstar, the Gaming Mage, and it's a pleasure to meet you, especially when it's after the longest event of the week of the gaming season, known as E3.
Yeah, Christmas for gamers. Or they would have you believe.
This event. I didn't say it was the best.
give your
My introduction? Oh,
introduction, yeah.
my name is Piggy Dodd from Video Game Facts, and right now I'm about to leave the... right now I'm currently playing the ARMS Party Crash event, trying to level up my rankings so I can get all the badges as Twintel, because right now the match is between Ribbon Girl and Twintel.
Good luck on that.
Okay.
I am on level 33, so I should be done. But right now they're doing a bonus stages right now, so I'll probably stop when that ends.
I have no idea what that means because I don't have arms.
Basically, the fight.
No, you don't have to explain it. I don't want to know. I don't have the game, and that's okay. And it's me, Mr. Red Fox here, speaking with confidence. We're just going to talk about our overall thoughts about E3 and all that type of fun jazz. Before we go any further, I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to those who may be fathers. If you're not a father, Happy Father's Day to your father. And if that's not the case, then just have a nice day, nice week, whatever. So we have 5 topics to get through, one of which is a false positive, but that's neither here nor there. So let's get to the first one. So what game shown at E3 from the big 3 would make you buy the console if you didn't have it already?
Oh, it's easy for me. Kingdom Hearts 3.
All right. Jewel?
That's a tricky one. I have to agree with Pinks on that. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan myself. Not for the story reasons, of course, just for the action.
Fair enough. For me, it was Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. I'm surprised that game isn't out yet, but that game looked really cool. That's it. Number 2, which game stole the show for you and why?
I can't come to the moment, so I'll let Joel answer that first.
Easy for me. Ultimate took the gold for me this round.
Ultimate Smash. Pinky?
Oh, same with Jules. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I made a list on this. I made an article on Discus talking about my top 5 favorite moments of that reveal.
Fair enough. The game that stole the show for me was not a Nintendo game. It was a PC game.
It was Redwall?
No, it was Cyberpunk 2077. That game looks really interesting to me, and I want to know more.
I kind of figured you would say that.
Yeah. I mean, like Smash, Ultimate Smash is really cool and really cool looking and everything. But the problem for me is that, like, it looks almost identical to
Smash 4.
And Smash 4 really, for me, like I know what I'm gonna get from Ultimate Smash. Okay, aside from different player models, like the adult Link they have is the Link from Breath of the Wild. Fair enough. But aside from that, there's really no.
Give it 6 months. They'll probably show us more modes that weren't from the Smash 4 before.
Well, like I said, they have the multiplayer and the balancing down. They're gonna have to show modes that are interesting to me as a gamer. So they're gonna have to sell. It's gonna be a hard sell for me. So for me, like Smash is not as exciting as it used to be. To me, like I used to be one of those people. Like the original Smash Brothers came out, I was off the wall. Melee came out, I was off the wall. Brawl came out, that was really like the height of like Smash hypeness for me. And then 4 came out, and I was like, yeah, this is a fun game, but there's some severe flaws in it. And then this one, I don't know if they can dig out that hole for me. But you guys do you. So yeah. So you guys like Smash because of the potential, I guess.
Me,
I don't want to put.
It's a mix of being able to play it solo or with others. Either way.
Yeah, but Smash has always had that.
Are you sure about that?
It's the kind of quality that's hard to be it single player or multiplayer for me.
Yeah, Smash 64 had that. Melee had that. Brawl had that. Smash 4 had that. All of them have the ability to play by yourself or with others. Although I have to say Smash 4 had the shittiest single player I've ever seen in a Smash game. But I mean, whether it's the 3DS version or the 3DS version was serviceable, but still not very good. But it got the job done because you're playing on your 3DS. You're probably not going to be playing a single player mode for a long period of time. But the Smash 4 single player was just embarrassing. it was embarrassing. Someone should be ashamed of that single player.
You didn't like Master Fortress?
No, it wasn't very good. I mean, the idea behind it was interesting, but ultimately it just wasn't very good. But anyway, but that's just me. For me, Cyberpunk 2077 looked cool just because of we're getting a core RPG with action elements set in a sci-fi world. We get so very few RPGs that are set in a sci-fi world. Normally, it's like. And if it is a sci-fi world, it's post-apocalyptic, like Fallout, or like apocalypse, like nuclear apocalypse, like Metro Exodus, or like fantastical, like Skyrim or The Witcher. This is a straight-up sci-fi RPG. Very rare.
But it still looks post-apocalyptic because it looks something out of Blade Runner.
Well, it's basically set 2077, so you're looking at like 50 years in the future. So, and like if you've ever played the tabletop games based on, like it's not as dystopian as Blade Runner, because Blade Runner, if you really think about the impetus of what Blade Runner's about, is like shitty. Cyberpunk was never like that. It was just like it was a future where technology had advanced to a point where like some amazing things could be done. And there was, but human nature didn't change. So you had criminals, you had gang members, but you also had people like you have now, people who have tattoos and earrings and piercings all over the place. In Cyberpunk, you had the same thing. So they took tattoos and piercings to the next level, which was like, I've got cybernetic eyes. I've got, I'm a criminal. And, 50 years ago, I would have been shooting you with a gun. But now my whole arm is like a cybernetic attachment that turns into a cannon.
It's a weapon.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just Cyberpunk is just, it's set in the future with crime and technology has advanced to a certain point, but it's not dystopian. It's not as dystopian as Blade Runner, which I'm glad about because Blade Runner is just like Blade Runner is a future I wouldn't want to live in because you never see the sunlight. Like they've blighted the earth in Blade Runner. They've blighted it. There's no sunlight. People create animal pets because they killed the real ones. I mean, it sucks, but that's neither here nor there. You guys gave the reasons you like. You're looking forward to the potential. Jewel said it's for the multiplayer and single player. And that's cool. I'm guessing for you, you just want to get back to that gameplay.
Yeah, as well as the roster.
Well, I mean, it's basically the same roster. I mean, at core, it's the same roster they had with the Wii U version and the 3DS version. So that's a huge roster.
Plus all the cut veterans.
Yeah. Plus they're bringing back the ones from Melee, so you get back your Pichu and your Mewtwo. I just like Mewtwo, and I'm glad they brought back the Pokemon trainer. There was no reason for Charizard to be his own character. Like, they should have just kept the Pokemon trainer. I don't know why. That was kind of weird to me. But
even
whatever.
better, they even gave us the female Pokemon trainer. Now my dream has come true.
As an alternate, so you can be the female Pokemon trainer, which is cool. I mean, I prefer Red, but other people like the other character. I don't care. They all have the 3 starters kicking people's ass, and probably their smash attack is probably going to be
it's still going to be triple finish.
Yeah, which is cool. So Jewel just dropped. Hopefully she'll get back in. So now we get into the meat of the podcast. Okay, who had the worst show of E3?
It's either EA or Sony. Because let me tell you why. Sony's conference was atrocious, especially when you're watching it on Twitch, where it's interrupted by disconnections and off-screen intermissions during the conference. You only do intermissions when you finish the conference, not during.
Well, no. Intermission literally is done during things, but an intermission has to be done
organically.
Well, yeah. Like they show 2 or 3 games and then they do an intermission, and then they show maybe like 2 or 3 games where they show gameplay, and maybe the developer talks for maybe maybe they show like a demo of the game for like 5 or 6 minutes, and then the developer comes out and talks for 5 or 6 minutes. Maybe you have 3 developers show their games like that, so a total of maybe like 30 minutes total. Then you have an intermission. Then maybe they show their big game, which would probably be Anthem, Battle. Their big games, Anthem, Battlefield 5, stuff like that. Then maybe have one more intermission for the last little bit of stuff, and that's it. So 2 intermissions, maybe 10 minutes apart. The only reason I say that is because I watch a lot of plays, and there are intermissions and plays, and it's just kind of like what you got to do sometimes. But I see where you're coming from.
And of course, EA being EA.
Well, yeah, that's
Final Fantasy VII being a no-show. That's even Shenmue 3.
Yeah, but I mean, can we legitimately think of Shenmue 3 showing up? Seriously?
Nope.
I mean, that's not even a hope. That's like, that's probably not going to happen.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
That's okay.
You're just in time for number 3.
Yeah, so the third topic that we're going to cover is, here, let me make sure. It is who had the worst show of E3?
Is it unanimous, or do I gotta say something real first?
Well, for me, I mentioned it's either a tie between EA and Sony.
For him, it's EA and Sony, and he gave pretty good reasons why. What are your choices? What are you going with?
Ooh, boy. I half agree. They'll replace Sony with Microsoft because, well, really, do you have nothing that says buy me exclusively?
I mean, what can I say? I too have to agree. Microsoft and Sony had the worst to me.
I said Microsoft and EA.
Yeah. Sorry, Microsoft and EA. Yeah, EA just because what they showed was just them covering their ass because it's EA.
Yeah, I was gonna say seriously, you're trying to say that you're gonna give out free airdrops. Those are loot boxes.
Yeah,
Hiding that.
Yeah, they're so full of shit. It's not even like EA isn't even trying anymore. But with Microsoft, like the reason Microsoft had the worst of the big three showings for me at this year's E3 is because Microsoft
really pull you in, right?
Well, no, they had the audacity to show up with 50 games, which on paper seems like it's like their conference was put together by people who said these numbers look good on paper, and maybe gamers will be stupid enough to not look beyond the numbers and see how they got these numbers and what these numbers mean. It's once again, it's the one thing that pisses me off more than someone trying to screw me over. It's someone trying to screw me over and trying to pretend like they aren't screwing me over, knowingly trying not to.
I was gonna say snake oil salesman.
Yeah, someone knowingly trying to screw me over and trying to pull the wool over my eyes disingenuously. Like it's very sinister. Like and I'll give an I mean, basically, like Microsoft, like I said, they showed 50 games, 2 of which are exclusives for the Xbox system, and arguably you could say those 2 are going to come to PC, so they're not even exclusive either. So they showed 50 games, none of which are exclusive to an Xbox system, and the only one that's coming out this year is Forza Horizon, a fucking racing game. And I don't know any gamer who buys a console just for a racing game. So, for just lying to gamers to their face and trying to, and then going up and saying, "Hey, stand outside, it's raining," and then them running up to the roof and peeing on gamers and saying, "It's raining, it's raining." Microsoft just their conference was offensive to me because of that. Because they basically spent a lot of money and time to create this elaborate lie in order to sell a console that is dying before our eyes. So yeah, Microsoft and EA had the worst conferences. But with that being said, let's move on to the second part. Nice segue. Who had the best show of E3?
Let's see. To many people say it's Microsoft, though me personally, it's Nintendo's. Even though this year is not one of their best ones, like last year.
I second that. I mean, Nintendo did a pretty good job in being solid and just showing us what they really have without trying to say this is going to be 2019 or later. 2019 or later.
Mm-hmm.
While others, they either gave out games that are going to come in 3 years' time or,
whenever.
Look at
It'll get
EA.
there whenever, yeah. There's no direct time for when it's going to come out. See, how can I put this nicely? For me, there were 2 conferences that were really, really impressive to me. The PC gaming show, which I know is not part of E3, but
I was going to say that was a weird one.
Well, because you got some stuff dropped at the PC gaming show that looked really cool. Like I said, you had Sega's bringing some 3 really good games to PC. Shining Force Resonance, 2 Yakuza games, Cyberpunk 2077, and Nintendo's conference, which was actually fairly interesting. You know, as a whole, I'm looking at the conference and the Treehouse events. Those were really interesting because you got more information. Like we learned about, we got more information about Octopath Traveler. We got more information about the Splatoon DLC. We got more information about, you know, Pokemon, even though I don't really care about that Pokemon game they're releasing. The one that's like Go, where you don't actually fight Pokemon, you just catch Pokemon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Red.
I'm sorry. Fuck no. I'm sorry. This is made to appeal to people who like Pokemon Go, not for core Pokemon fans. Because I was like, well, you're gonna fight in the gyms, right? I think even in the gyms, you're just catching Pokemon. Okay. All right.
You're exaggerating on me here, but I get your point.
Okay. All right. Like I told everyone, I said, look, those cardboard boxes that Nintendo was selling people for like $70, $80 a pop, $90 a pop was not going to do too well. It didn't. It's flopped everywhere. It's doing all right here in America, but not like gangbuster numbers, which I'm not surprised at. Although, you know, it doesn't need to do all right, because if you got a few people who will buy a fucking cardboard box I mean, for $80, I mean, that's on you. And some rubber bands for $80. I mean, you know, that's pure profit right there. But with that being said, yeah, so the best show for me for E3 was Nintendo and the PC gaming show, just because the PC gaming show had some games that weren't coming to console and some decent ports of games that were on consoles that are coming to PC. So, you know, you had some exclusives to PC coming to that system. Okay, then. I guess we can do the fun question. Which the fun question is not what game made you think about the future of gaming. No. That was a fake out. The real fun question is, what game was missing from the E3 that made you just puzzled why it wasn't there?
Let's see. I previously mentioned the Final Fantasy VII remake as well as Shenmue 3.
Well, 7 I can understand because Square Enix is just
Effing it up.
Yeah, they're effing it up. But Shenmue 3, I mean, come on, man.
That was a crowd-funded game, and yet it has a developer.
The only thing that would make that game not be in this year's E3 even better is if they brought that guy out again. He's like, well, the game's coming along, but I need more money. So if you just give me some more money to finish this game, Shenmue 3 can be the best game.
If they did that, they'll be pulling something worse than Mighty Number 9.
No, that's about the same thing that Mighty Number 9 did. They did a second Kickstarter for more money so that they could, you know, make more stuff.
Oh, God.
And so,
I mean, at least Nintendo gave an explanation as to why Metroid Prime 4 wasn't available this year.
I mean, when we get through these pre-made topics and we get to the
free for all,
I'm gonna say something and it's gonna make some Nintendo fans angry, but I don't care because it needs to be said. And I don't want people getting angry when I say this. I don't want people, whoa, why'd you say that? Why'd you look, listen, there's a method to my madness, and it's not for the reasons you may think. So
hold.
You guys have anything else you want to say about the topic? A game that should have been there that wasn't there? Anything?
I have to agree on the Final Fantasy VII, though. I'm trying to think of the weird one. I'm gonna likely wondering on oddly Animal Crossing because I could hear people saying, "Where is it? Where is it?" And I saw all these. I even saw a weird enchantment circle made of amiibo Animal Crossing cards.
I can see that.
There's some weird stuff that you can find.
Okay, then. So I guess we can get to the free for all. So, you guys have any thoughts about anything you want to bring up? Oh, Team Sonic Racing looked cool.
Yeah, I have to agree. Though its game mechanics so far has some people wondering, really?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I like I like Sonic Racing more than I like Mario Kart 8 because Mario Kart 8 ultimately is a shallow fucking game. Even with the battle mode, it's just kind of shallow. There's it's like Nintendo's gotten comfortable making those types of games, and it's like they don't want to move it forward. They're like, well, you have anti-grav shit. I'm like,
I'm gonna say this that so far nobody
But then
else is
again,
challenging them on that.
though then again, you're not a fan of Mario Kart games in general, though.
well, I mean, but it's like to me, oh, you can drive on the walls. I'm like, that's not innovative to me. Because there's other games that have done that. Like on the N64, you had games like Extreme G, where you could drive on the walls and drive, like if you were in certain areas, you could drive on the ceiling. It was.
I was saying that it's kind of revolutionary to the series, but not to gaming entirely because, well,
Not as a racer. Not as a racer.
I was going to
yeah.
say this that nobody else is challenging them on a certain front.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's practically no competition, so they've gotten comfortable. Like for me, like because I have both of those games. I have Mario Kart 8 and I have Sonic Racing Transformed. And Racing Transformed is a more innovative game. Like, because basically, as you go through the tracks, as you take laps around the track transforms. And your vehicles have to transform in different forms that change up how you race. Like you might be on it, one track is from Skies of Arcadia, and like you're driving around in kart form, and then part of the track gets blown up because there's a war going on, so you got to turn into the jet form, and then part of it might turn into water, so then you got to go into the boat form. So it's like you're basically forced to change up. It adds variety to how you're driving. But Mario Kart is like, ooh, I can drive on the side of the wall. Nothing really changes. Well, they're like, well, you can smash into stuff and it'll give you a slight speed boost. I'm like, whatever.
And but you can drive underwater and glide.
Yeah. But I mean, those are just like underwater sections kind of add a little bit of variety, but the gliding is pretty much like unless you have a setup for your vehicle where you can glide for a long period of time or reach a shortcut that normally can't be reached, the gliding really doesn't add much by and large, at least to me. I mean, that's just, and before someone says, you didn't play enough of it. No, I unlocked fucking everything in Mario Kart 8. Everything on the Wii U. And I was like, no, fuck it. No, I'm done. It really was not, and I'm talking about the reverse courses, the mirror courses, the 200cc, all of it. 100% of that game. And I'm just telling you, it's kind of, I mean, I hate to say this, but to me, Mario Kart's boring. It's boring, goddammit, it's boring.
It's boredom.
Yeah.
To me, it's entertainment.
To me, it's just boring. It's just very, very like, I'm like, is this it? Is this all you do? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll deal with it. But here's what I was gonna say. Here are the games that are coming to. Here are the third-party games that are coming to the Switch this year. Okay. Or that are already there, or whatever. Freedom Planet is being ported over. Okay, cool. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, also cool. Dark Souls Remastered. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. That's cool because it's the first time it's come to the system. Crash Insane Trilogy. I mean, if you're a Crash fan, there you go. Valkyria Chronicles 4, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. I don't know if that's the original game remastered or all three games in one package remastered. I don't know. My Hero 1's Justice. Never heard of it. Fortnite Ark Survival Evolved. Hollow Knight, The World Ends With You Remixed. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, Blade Strangers, Rimmelore, Crystal Crisis, Code of Princess X, Starlink Battle, Atlas, Dragon Quest 11, and Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Mania Plus. So, I mean, that seems like a lot of games, but then you realize that Freedom Planet is on everything. Dragon Ball FighterZ on everything. Dark Souls Remastered is being released on everything. The Tales game is being released on everything. Crash Insane Trilogy is on everything but PC. So all the console people who really want that game probably already have it. Valkyria Chronicles and Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Those are kind of new because, I mean, like, Tales of Valkyria, the original game didn't sell that well on the PS3. So, you know, them re-releasing it kind of makes sense. And the new one's coming out. My Hero 1's Justice. I think that's an anime game. I'm not sure.
It is, kind of.
Fortnite, I mean, that's kind of hot right now. Matter of fact,
hot trash.
Sony's got a hot poker stuck up its behind because they blocked it off on their system. So people who have a Switch and a PS4 have to start a new module on the Switch, or Sony tears down their wall, but they can't because, you know.
Oh, I just remembered. Thank you for reminding me. Here's the thing bugs me. Nintendo gets shot in the stock market for talking about loot boxes able to be used in a better way than what some others are doing, and then Sony's getting shot at for their Fortnite mishap. I'm wondering how Sony's gotten it less than Nintendo on this.
Well, Nintendo's getting shot, and their stock went down because people felt like their E3 showing wasn't that impressive. Like, it had nothing to do with the loot box thing. It was just they felt, and to be fair, this year's E3 wasn't as good as their E3 last year because they showed more exclusive games last year at the E3. But then again, they were launching a new console that year. They launched a new console that year. They had to come out strong that year's E3. This year, the Switch is pretty much selling pretty well. So they kind of, I mean, this is what I wanted to get into. Nintendo has once again started to fall on their laurels a little bit. Like delaying games and pushing things back and I mean, I can't get angry at them because, I mean, if you look at the list of E3 of games for the third party games for the Switch, most of these, and I'm going to put them in the chat section, most of these games are multiplats. Or games that already came out and are being ported over. So
I was going to say old multiplats, no less.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that, generally speaking, what this means is that, and I hate to say this because I wanted the Switch to be, you know, everyone's like, the Switch is going to be different. It's going to change the landscape. No, it isn't. You know what's happening? Same thing that happened with the Wii U. Same thing that happened with the Wii. Same thing happened with the GameCube. Well, not so much with the GameCube, but with the N64. Nintendo is basically going to get a whole bunch of half-ass ports of old shit that everyone who really wanted that game already bought it. who like absolutely had to have it, already bought it, and most gamers aren't double, triple, quadruple dipping. Like the only companies that I see that are putting new or substantive content on the system is
Nintendo themselves, or someone like Atlas,
Sega,
or Sega.
yeah, Sega.
I said Atlas.
Maybe Square Enix to a point. Well, Sega owns Atlas, so Sega.
Okay, you got me there. Though
So,
people are
yes.
saying Ubisoft's being nice for once.
Man, fuck Ubisoft. There, I said it. To hell with Ubisoft.
Especially, though, if anything, it really annoys me that people are celebrating that Ubisoft's being a help because of, well, they're rabbits. Ugh.
Okay, here's my question. Okay, here's my question. How are they being a help when they're selling a game that really should be $30 or $40 for $60 with a $30 season pass for the system? That's South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Yeah, they put Rabbids Cross Mario on the system, but I mean, that game doesn't really do anything for me. But I know some people love it.
That's why I shuddered, because I know I'm definitely not part of what they consider quality on that.
Well, the problem is, I like tactical games. I just don't like the Rabbids. Like, I was like, if there was a way that game could not have the rabbits in it, I'd probably get it. But it has the rabbits in it, and I hate the rabbits, so it's my own personal pet peeve.
Let's make of Ubisoft. Can we also talk about Starlink?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, they basically put Star Fox as a guest character in Starlink. Really? Man, fuck off.
And they're gonna, and I can already hear the commentary about that already.
I mean, okay.
Nintendo.
I'm gonna keep it real. It would be cool if Starlink became like a 3D fighter game, kind of like where each console version has its own special characters. So the Switch would have Star Fox. I don't know, like the Xbox would have
like one of their helmet heroes.
Maybe Master Chief, and one of those fighter jets from Halo. I don't know. And the PlayStation would have I can't think of anyone who flies airplanes in their games.
The only joke I could make a joke about Ratchet and Clank.
Well, yeah, if they actually you could have Ratchet in one of his jets, one of his space fighters. That'd be cool, actually.
And yet they haven't pulled that off.
Yep, Ubisoft fucking up all the time. But anyway, yeah. So like 2/3 of the games in this list of third-party multiplats coming to the Switch, they're multiplats. Most of them are ports of shit that came out a while ago, and not to discount them. Like Hollow Knight is a cool game. The World Ends With You remixed. I mean, I hate to say this, I never liked that game in the first place. I thought the art style was shit, but then again, the art style was done by the same guy who did Kingdom Hearts. So I was never gonna like that art style. Like I remember I went to my local EB Games at the time, and they were like trying to sell that shit to me, and I looked at the cover and I was like, nah. They're like, why not? I don't like this art style.
That's the same argument people made about Wind Waker.
Yeah, and I fell into the same thing because I did not get Wind Waker until years after the fact. Like I didn't get it when it first came out. I got it I got it well into the life cycle of the Wii was when I got Wind Waker. So yeah, I was one of them. I didn't like that art style. I skipped Wind Waker and then I played Twilight Princess, and I was like, I want to play another Legend of Zelda game. I'll give Wind Waker a chance because I got it on sale for like $20 at used at EB. I was like, fuck it, I'll go with it. And I was like, wow, this is really good. It's not a great Legend of Zelda. It only has like 6 dungeons overall, like not per area, like just 6 dungeons, period. And that kind of sucks. But aside from that, it's a pretty good game. Yeah. I can't knock it. How's it going, Dragon Swords?
Was out of commission for like a week. And
that's okay. Were you sick or working or?
Sick would kind of be the equivalent. I mean, I guess we'll talk about that more off air. Yeah.
All right. So, you've reached the free topic portion. We were just talking about how a lot of the third-party games coming to the Switch indicate that Nintendo is once again going to have to do most of the heavy lifting for this console
again.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised because I mean, come on, man. As soon as Microsoft said, yeah, we're releasing a new console in 2020, which I mean, I don't think it's going to be a new console in the conventional sense. I think they're going to have a set-top box that you're going to download shit to, and it's going to be streamed or some shit. Because I was gonna
joke, it's going to be the true stream box instead of just an Xbox.
They're going to call it the Extreme box. That's marketing. It's extreme.
I thought it was going to be the Xbox Scarlet.
No. That's a code word. Kind of like Project Cafe, and was the code name for the Wii U, and I forget what the code. Dolphin was the code name for
the GameCube.
Wii. No, the GameCube's.
No, the GameCube is basically the Project Dolphin, and the Wii is basically the Nintendo Revolution.
Yeah, there you go. I skipped the thing, but yeah, so Scarlet is the code name for for their next console. But I don't think Microsoft's gonna jump into that pool again. Like the concept of a console where you spend billions and billions of dollars developing it, I don't see it happening again. I think they're just going to do a streaming. I think they're going to do a Steam box that actually works, except they're going to call it Extreme Box, like Xbox, except it's a stream. It's like you stream the games to it because like that's what Microsoft wants to do. They want to basically create a device that you basically pay them like $60 or $70 a year, and you can stream a certain amount of games to your console, and once you're finished with the game, you turn it back in, and then you stream some more. Like that's what they want. That's the future that Microsoft wants.
What about the Xbox 720? So that way it can fulfill the prophecy from that one Hugh Jackman movie.
Nah, man, that takes talent, and Microsoft doesn't have any. But yeah, that's what we're talking about, Dragon. You have any thoughts on? I guess we can get through some of these topics. What game shown at by the big three at E3 would make you buy the console if you didn't already have it?
I mean, the only console I guess I'm interested in for Microsoft. I mean, they seem to be heading in that stream. That's what like some people were actually stating, especially when the keyword pop up was next consoles and streaming console quality games to a device. So that's probably just going to be like, probably not going to get an Xbox console like ever. So for Switch, maybe more gameplay in the new Fire Emblem game.
Oh yeah, that Fire Emblem game did look cool. It looked different. Yeah. And if I wasn't burnt out on Fire Emblem, I would be really looking forward to that. But I'm Fire Emblemed out.
Well, it's coming out in 2019, so that's like a 2-year gap.
No, man, it's too much. It's too much.
Then what year gap should it be enough for you? 3 years? 4 years?
5?
You do realize there's been about only 2 mainline Fire Emblem titles within a Nintendo console.
Allow me to explain. Okay, on the 3DS you have 3 Fire Emblem games, technically 4 because of Fire Emblem Warriors. So that's 4 games. Then you got Fire Emblem Heroes on mobile. That's 5. Okay. Then you get Smash Brothers 4, and they've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fire Emblem characters in that game, and people use a lot of them. So that's just like right now, I feel like I'm oversaturated with Fire Emblem, and I need a break from it. So for me, I'm probably gonna skip this next one. It looks good, but I need a break from Fire Emblem. It's kind of like I really love. Let's see, what's a food that I used to love, but I had my fill. I used to love corn dogs. Loved them. And one year, for like all summer, I ate corn dogs 3 or 4 times a week for 3 months, just straight up, just corn dogs. And now I don't eat corn dogs anymore. I'm like, you know what? I'm corn dogged out. I need a break from corn dogs. And I haven't eaten them. Like I eat maybe corn dogs maybe once or twice a year, and I don't go out of my way to get them. It's like if I go someplace and someone's making them, I might have one, and that's it. So it's like, for me, I've had oversaturation of Fire Emblem. I need a break from it. So for me, if Nintendo's like, okay, look, here's your Fire Emblem, and they wait maybe 4 or 5 years, I'd be cool with it. Because I want Fire Emblem to go away for a little bit, so then when they bring it back, I can miss it. I can look forward to it. But I mean, they inundated us with Fire Emblem for so long that I'm just like, I can't take it.
Oh, the only time that Fire Emblem had a hiatus was between the N64 and the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
When there were no Fire Emblem titles on the N64.
Yeah, that's true. But there were Fire Emblem games on the Game Boy Advance during the N64's life cycle.
Yeah, there were about 3 of them on the Game Boy.
There was still Fire Emblem, but I mean, Fire Emblem. I guess the thing is that Fire Emblem blew up and became really popular, so Nintendo kept on pushing it. And there's a certain point where you can saturate the market, and that's kind of like what I think has happened to me for Fire Emblem.
They've been doing it way before they brought it overseas.
It's kind of saturated. Yeah, but Fire Emblem has a different market in Japan than it does here. Methinks. But that's just me. Joel, Dragon Swords, you guys have any thoughts on it?
Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem, yes.
If I guess they may incorporate some elements that can actually work in this game that were in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which it seems they probably will, with I guess the 3D dungeon exploration and just all that. Then
yeah. Once they give more information, I might give this game a try if it does something substantially different from conventional Fire Emblem games. But
so far, the one difference, the one feature they brought something new to the table is having an entire army attacking with you.
But that's not really like if you played games like Fire Emblem, like the Fire Emblem. It's
kind of like an element from Warrior's Way
or Der Langrisser, where you have like hero units, but then you have the units with the hero units. So your hero unit might be an archer, but then there's archers with the archer. So when they attack, all the archers under that hero unit also attack. So like it's new for Fire Emblem, but I've seen it before. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I'm not like, oh, this is so unique. I've never seen it before. I've seen this shit before. It's new to the franchise, but not new to these types of games. But then again, a lot of ideas are kind of universal. But yeah, the Fire Emblem game looked cool. Anything else? So Sony didn't show anything for you, Dragon, that made you say, wow, I want to get us PlayStation 4. If I didn't have one, I want to get one because of this game.
I technically have one, so I'm actually going to be looking forward to whatever games.
Okay, all right. And Microsoft didn't show you anything, or you were like, man, I gotta get this. I gotta play Forza, son.
I think my PC can probably handle it, and even if I guess my current PC can't handle it, I mean, I don't yeah, the gameplay just wasn't really that impressive for like Gears, and then Halo I think was a CGI trailer, and then Forza, I don't know, especially with that service. I guess the games on service sort of thing that they're pushing.
Yeah.
And the Battlefield Zero was no gameplay, so
The game that looked cool to me at Microsoft's thing was Crackdown 3, but Crackdown 3 doesn't come out till next year, and it's probably going to be on PC too. So, what's the point? Because I like Crackdown. It's a fun little mid-tier open world blow up shit type of game. And you notice something. They never talked while they were showing off Crackdown. They never talked about the power of the cloud. Remember, Microsoft was pushing that shit. The power of the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
You can blow up this city with the power of the cloud. I'm like, could you guys stop talking? Stop using marketing buzzwords, because most people don't even know what the hell that means, and those who do know you're full of shit. So. Microshaft. So basically, I guess we can move on to the second topic. Which game stole the show for you and why?
I guess I'll go with the one that actually showed a good amount of gameplay, and that was Ghost of Tsushima with I think the open world and how I guess sort of Breath of the Wild kind of inspired it was, and just the gameplay. I think what. I guess the combat.
I don't know. It doesn't look that different from Sekiro from Microsoft's E3 conference and Neo 2.
So and that's slim pickings.
Yeah.
So basically, that stole the show for you. Okay, all right. And just because of how it's an open world game, it's from Software. That's kind of redundant to say. It's from Software. And the open world aspects, and I mean that sounds pretty interesting. I might get it if it's good enough. So who do you think had the worst show of E3?
Some people would say EA, but I think it was probably Square Enix, because I don't know what they showed that was like new.
They showed Kingdom Hearts and Dragon Quest XI. I think.
Yeah.
Did they? I mean, you watched it, didn't you, Pinky?
Yeah.
So they showed Kingdom Hearts 3 and Dragon Quest XI, didn't they? Pinky?
Yeah.
Square Enix. No, Square Enix.
Oh, it wasn't all that good.
They showed Dragon Quest XI and Kingdom Hearts 3, right?
Right.
That's all they showed.
Well, then there's Octopath Traveler.
Oh yeah. But they
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
They went more in depth for the Nintendo Treehouse than they did at Square Enix's thing. So Nintendo is selling that game more than Square Enix, which is embarrassing because that game looks like the true sequel to Final Fantasies that we deserve, and not the shit they've been giving us on PlayStation and all that other stuff.
I mean, the only good thing about Square's Direct was Square's E3 conference. It was narrated by Keith David.
Oh yeah. Keith David makes everything sounds good. He could be telling you have cancer. You're like, that's some badass cancer I got. So number 4, Dragon. If you can, who had the best show of E3?
That is really tricky. I would prefer Presence, but the show at Windows Theater is the most accurate I could give. I'm not going to give Microsoft points for really.
No, when I say show, I just mean that they had something at E3 that showed off games.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be in the strictest sense of the word show.
Maybe some people are not going to like this, but probably Sony, because after the press conference, they did show more gameplay for Dreams, Conquer Genie, Spider-Man. I think they showed more gameplay of, and they did show gameplay for
Well, it's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I mean, I'm not gonna jump down your throat because of your opinion, because it's an opinion. Opinions have no base. Oh, they do. They can be influenced by facts, but they have no basis in, like, they aren't right or wrong. It's just your opinion. And the fun question is, what game that you think should have been there that wasn't?
Yoshi. And unfortunately, that got delayed. Maybe Bayonetta? Maybe? Unless they're really that far along and it's not ready to be shown.
No, I disagree with that, because Platinum, when they take their time on their games are so much better. So.
Oh, speaking of Platinum, Nier Automata is coming to Xbox One, but digital only.
Yeah. So. I mean, look, man, it's a Japanese RPG, action RPG. That game's gonna bomb on the Xbox. I mean, why are we even? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, shit. Because it's the Xbox. Why? Like, JRPGs. Like, okay, if JRPGs are Superman, the Xbox One is the Xbox brand console is kryptonite to JRPGs. It's like Superman in the comics. No, kryptonite. Too weak. Can't move. Get help. Must use lead suit. So yeah, and now we're in free topic, where we were just talking about how we think with the games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch, that it looks like Nintendo's once again going to have to do the heavy lifting for the Switch, versus, you know, how third parties just basically did all the work for the PS4. So.
Yeah, I don't think that was really a surprise there, given, I guess, the recent history. So.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one. I'm just, it's disappointing. You know, Dragon. It's not. I'm not surprised. It's just disappointing. It's like, I thought that with the Switch it would be a little bit different. You know, that maybe for once we could have some quality games come to the system from third parties. But even the quote unquote like the really graphically demanding games are getting downported, or they're half-ass ported, like Skyrim, which is sad, because, you know, the Switch is capable. It's basically an easier to port to Wii U.
Even though Platinum stated it wasn't as hard as porting their games onto the 360 and PS3.
What?
Even though Platinum previously stated that porting their games onto the Wii U wasn't as hard as porting them onto the PS3.
Well, no. I mean, here's the thing. With all of these third-party games being brought to the Switch, we can state one simple fact, just from like observational evidence, which is empirical, just observational. There is no reason for a lot of third-party games to have skipped the Switch, other than they just didn't want to fucking do it. The third parties, publishers, didn't want to put the games on the system. That's all that is. It has nothing to do with the power of the system. Because really, let's keep it real. Most of the games that are on the Switch, even Nintendo's first-party games that are on the Switch, those games could have been on the Wii U. No problem. Even Mario Odyssey probably could have been on the Wii U. Wouldn't have looked as pretty, maybe. I don't know. But it could have been on the system. So
that I could agree on, though it's by an inch for me.
I mean, it's sad, but I mean, I wish it wasn't true, but
I mean, like, Square Enix isn't really going to be supporting the system, like bringing, like, I don't know, some like Final Fantasy 15 or Nier Automata to the system.
You might see Nier come to the system,
right?
But it'll probably be digital only, like the Xbox One version.
Yeah, Nier might come to the system. You might see, you might see that shitty Final Fantasy 15 demake come to the system. Because Square Enix, but I mean, seriously, Square Enix might put a Final Fantasy on the system because they spent so much money on Final Fantasy 15 and it still hasn't made its money back. And they really need to make money on that. And they're starting on Final Fantasy 7, which also might not. I mean, let's keep it real. Final Fantasy 7 is probably never going to hit these consoles. These 8th and 9th gen consoles. It's probably not going to hit the Switch. It's probably not going to hit the Xbox One or the PS4. Considering that Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to be on the PS2 when it was called Final Fantasy Versus 7. And, you know, I don't know, but I don't trust Square Enix. Actually, no, I don't trust the Final Fantasy portion of Square Enix. Dragon Quest has never let me down, except with Dragon Quest X, which they never localized. But by and large, the Dragon Quest games have always been good. Quality. You know, the quality doesn't go down on those, but, man. Final Fantasy's been all over the place. Well, that's not true. After 12, it was just downhill from there. Just straight downhill. Just kept on going down, down, down. So, anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up?
Yes. Going back to Smash, there have been 2 recent controversies surrounding that game.
All right.
It's the reveal.
I was going to ask, is one of them Ridley?
Oh, no. It's someone who is just as memey as Ridley.
Okay. Did the villager?
Nope. It's Waluigi. Apparently, Waluigi being an assist trophy once again has stirred outrage from the fandom to the point that it's reached mainstream media such as Washington Post.
Well, that's interesting, but here's the thing: I don't like Waluigi, and I hope he's not in the game because I hate that bastard, that skinny bastard. I hate that guy. I would run him over with a motorcycle if I could.
So people want him because they think he's a perfect representation of the Mario sports games that he's appeared in.
No, he isn't. All the other characters who've been in Mario sports games are perfect representations of Mario sports games because they were there before Waluigi.
And I'm just here laughing that Daisy got in over Waluigi.
Hell, Daisy's more because she's almost in exclusively the Mario sports games. God, I hate Waluigi. Sorry.
And for the second controversy was involving Zero Suit Samus and Snake's reveal trailers having the like and dislike ratio about even, basically because of the minor changes in their character designs.
Yeah. Zero Suit Samus is less curvy and more muscular, and
Snake loses his butt cheeks.
And Snake has flat white dude butt. He suffers from no ass, no ass-itis. Well, I mean, you know, the whole Snake thing. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Samus, believe it or not, if you've ever read the comics for Metroid, like the old comics for Samus, she's really not as she's like 6'4" without the suit. She's not curvy. She's like kind of gangly and like beam Polish. I mean, she's a woman, but she's not ultra curvy.
Like a supermodel curvy.
No, she's more like a supermodel. Supermodels aren't curvy. They're like very like especially back in the day, they were really thin. Like really thin and wispy looking. Samus isn't wispy because she's got to be physically strong and she does stuff, but she's not curvy in the classical sense.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean they just went with a version of Samus that's closer to you know, her origin. Jewel, how's it going?
Oh yeah, and since she previously mentioned Ridley, I should probably mention that Shokyo, who is also a Ridley denier, is trying to deny that Ridley's in the game, saying that he's still too big.
He thinks it's a troll. Well, here's what I said. I said I don't want Ridley in the game because Ridley is too big. And I said if they put Ridley in the game, they would have to make Ridley smaller than he normally is. Ridley's smaller than he normally is. So, I mean, it's not that hard of a jump. I mean, he's about the same size as Donkey Kong or Bowser, except he's got those wings, but he's not like unduly large, which makes sense because he's like, I'm guessing they're making him to a heavy character, which makes sense because, I mean, he is big.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising. You know, I'm not like, oh my God. Okay, let me put it this way. Ridley being in there doesn't piss me off the way Cloud being in there pisses me off. Because Ridley is a Nintendo character, and I mean, you know, he deserves to be there. Dragon, you have any thoughts about the people who are pissed about certain characters being in Smash Brothers?
Or certain characters not being in Smash Bros. Like Waluigi.
Yeah.
Don't know because there's like that many characters, and I'm actually an advocate for maybe some balance because if one person uses something that's really overpowered, then it's like really hard not to use that one character.
Ooh, Bayonetta.
Maybe.
Corrin.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, for you, Bayonetta is still as combo heavy as she is from the Smash Invitational, at least.
Here's the thing.
She was dominating a Ridley player.
Here's the thing. Smash Brothers is an arcadey type brawler, and in my opinion, it's an arcadey type brawler, and so it's meant to be kind of unbalanced. Like the people who for me, the people who scream about balance, they're like, I'm like, if you want balanced gameplay, go play Street Fighter, which is still not very well balanced. But I mean, Street Fighter is meant to be kind of, you know, like a more serious
fighter.
A more serious fighter. Like in Smash Brothers, if items are on a fight, like you can have someone playing arguably one of the shittiest characters, they can get their hands on the hammer and everybody's goose is cooked. You know, you know, a well-timed bomb drop can mess up your day. So, and I mean, I like that chaotic aspect of Smash Brothers, just for me personally. So, it doesn't bother me when they. It doesn't bother me that characters are imbalanced. And you know, before anyone says you don't play competitively, no, I've played in Smash tournaments. As a matter of fact, back in the day when I was in college, I played quite a few GameCube tournaments with Melee and Soul Calibur 2, and I had fun. But I mean, I think people are way too caught up on balancing, not to just enjoy the game. Because the whole point of Smash Brothers is just to see your favorite Nintendo characters beat the shit out of each other. That's it. It's you know, if you want to play, if you want to see, here's what they need. Here's the sport they need to. Here's the game they need to make into a video game sport, a video game league. Pokemon.
Well, they've been doing that with the VGC.
Because that shit, those people, the metagame in Pokemon is insane. People sitting there trying to breed the perfect Pokemon, trying to get the right natures for the right Pokemon, trying to teach the perfect moveset to Pokemon, trying to get the right. I mean, that is insane, man. And those people are professional, almost professional athletes with the shit. Those
even then, the metagame is even more unbalanced than the Smash Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, it is, because certain Pokemon just with different generations would be OP as fuck.
Such as the legendary.
Well, not even just taking out the legendaries. I mean, look at Salamence, or
Mega Salamance's Mega Evolution. Then there's Landorus.
No,
T.
even before they had that, Tyranitar. Basically, the dragon types were just ridiculously OP. In whichever generation, whichever generation introduces a new dragon type, it's ridiculously OP. Like it has
they try to nerf it with fairy types, and now fairy types are the new OP type.
Yeah. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You guys have anything you want to bring up before we wrap things up? Any extra topics you guys want to bring up?
Is the Switch going to replace the 3DS?
I mean,
nope.
I don't know.
Nintendo just stated that the Switch will not replace the 3DS unless the Switch becomes a one system per person system.
So probably not. What I think is going to happen is just me. I think the 3DS is going to get phased out in 2020, 2021, and then Nintendo's probably going to come up with a handheld that's going to be. It's going to have newer tech, but it's probably going to be cheaper. It's probably going to be between $100 and $150. And it's probably going to be compatible with the Switch. Like maybe you can use it as a second screen or something. I don't know.
Here's another article we can discuss about which is the article that Alex posted on VGF. The video game bar manager is getting arrested for alleged copyright violations.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone got really heated at me about it. But Dragon, you were gonna say something before we?
Liger actually did ask a question, like if the main series Pokemon game, I guess, so Generation 8 was going to move over to the Switch and be exclusive to it, would that also kill the 3DS? And I think he said yes.
And that's probably is the case then. I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't know all the shit Nintendo's going to do. I'm just giving you suppositions. Here's the thing. The thing is that if they move their mainline Pokemon game to the Switch, that means they're going to have to move all the little extra shit that they have built around the Pokemon games, like the Pokemon Bank and the how you can trade with each other and all that extra functionality. They're going to have to build that into the Switch. And as of right now, the Switch doesn't have that shit. So I don't know, like...
they're going to implement Pokemon Bank onto the Switch eShop?
No, not just that. I don't know how they're going to implement all the other shit that you can do on the 3DS version of Pokemon into the Switch. Because some of the shit that the Switch can, that the 3DS can do, the Switch can't do. That Pokemon uses. So I don't know, because like here's the thing. The people who are hardcore into Pokemon really want to keep all that functionality, right? They're averse to change. So I don't know if they're gonna jump over onto the 3DS the way the Pokemon company thinks they're gonna jump onto the 3DS. So I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know. Whatever they come up with their mainline 3DS game, with their mainline Switch game, their mainline Pokemon game they're going to put on the Switch, it damn sure better be something amazing, because that Pokemon Eevee and Pokemon Pikachu Go, where you just toss Pokemon balls at Pokemon and you don't actually fight anything, you just toss Pokemon. Jesus.
Well, actually, there are still Pokemon battles.
Yeah, in the gyms, maybe.
Even in trainer battles outside of gyms.
I don't know, man.
I saw the E3 demos of that game.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. But that's just me. You know, everyone has their own. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That may be unfortunate because if it's, I guess, the team that worked on Sun and Moon, that means they only had like 3 years, which I don't know if it'll be that impressive, I guess. So
I mean, like I said, this Pokemon game is going to have to be something amazing. I don't know if it will be. I don't know. The great thing about Pokemon is that you can always go back and play your old ones. So I don't know.
Golden, even then, a bit outdated and unbalanced.
You can always play your old Pokemon games. If you're like me, you know, you can always go back. You can always go back and play your old shit. So it's not like, oh my god, you know, Nintendo isn't like other, and you don't really need any servers in order to play your Pokemon games. All you need is just the game itself, which is awesome. So you know, that's it. But Pinky was bringing up the people who were getting arrested for a game they bought and letting other people play it for money.
Yeah. And you said that one of our contributors was giving you slack on what you said.
Yeah, the guy's like, I don't like people to use the term draconian. I'm like, I don't really give a shit what you don't like. I mean, I said it nicer than that. I wasn't, I didn't curse anyone out, but essentially, I wrote the equivalent of that. I don't really give a shit if you don't like what I said. I stand by my statement that, essentially speaking, it's like I don't think it's legal for you to, because once someone buys a game, that means they have the right to do whatever they want with it, aside from piracy. So, like, if I buy, I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for my Switch, I can do whatever I want to with that game, aside from taking it, uploading it to the internet, and letting people download the ROM for free. But if I want to take that and sell it to somebody for the same price, I can do that. If I want to take it and go to someone and say, hey, you want to play this game? I'll let you play it for like 3 days for like $20. I can do that because I bought it. It's mine. Like, I mean, I know international laws are different, but that's a shitty law if that's the case in Japan. I'm just saying.
And I guess that's about it for today. At least for these.
So anyone else have anything else they want to say before we wrap things up?
I guess what your overall thoughts, I guess, about the new Smash. I guess, yeah.
It looks pretty. It looks like the Wii U game, but I mean, they use a lot of the same assets, and I think they use a lot of the same, like some of the same engine components, and they just like use they're using a different overall engine, but a lot of the like physics and parameters from the old engine they're using in the new one. So I'm not like, because I mean, Sakurai's 2 arms are working, so clearly it wasn't that hard. My arm, I thought, like, I don't trust.
It's been revealed that he's still in good shape.
I don't trust the Smash Brothers where at least his arm isn't about to fall off. I don't trust it. but hopefully here's the thing.
Well, if you're gonna say he just revealed that this may be the last game in the entire series.
Yeah. So hopefully this one will have a better single player. That's it. Like, here's the thing. The Smash 4 has like the multiplayer down pat. They have the online connectivity down pat.
But we already hear that you're saying that the single player was where you really got soured on it.
Yeah,
even though people previously hated the single player in Brawl when it first came out.
I wasn't one of those people. For me, like I said, seeing the little things that they leaked where they showed like the different characters meeting each other in Subspace Emissary and going off doing stuff, I like that. That's why, to me, Brawl was the most exciting and enjoyable Smash Brothers to play. And I know people are going to be like, the multiplayer sucked. The online wasn't that good. And I didn't like tripping. Tripping didn't bother me. The online, I was like, okay, the online kind of sucked. But, I mean, it was what it was. But, I mean, the single player was great, and the local multiplayer was great. So I don't see what the point was.
I just found some recent news, and it does involve Smash. Apparently, Nintendo New York received a bomb threat email over due to displeasure over Super Smash Bros. Kiosk being removed from the store.
So I mean, it's terrible that some asshole would do that, but I don't see the.
And it's dated back in April.
Oh, that sounds like an asshole to me, but. That's just me. You know, I don't know everything.
No kidding.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I just know quite a bit, but not everything. I don't know. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I wish it was better, but you know, once again, it is what it is. I mean, it's a shame that someone gets that uptight about a game. Here's the thing: if you don't like what a company's doing, don't buy the product, right? Like,
I wouldn't go with direct advice if that game is of a franchise that's in need to sell better in order to be kept alive.
Just don't buy it. No, look. You shouldn't support something if you don't like it. Like, don't buy something. Like, I don't like the Yoshi's Islands games. They feel very samey to me, even though there are differences between them. They feel too damn samey to me. So I don't buy them. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Don't need it. The last one I got was Yoshi's Epic Yarn.
It's Yoshi's World.
Yoshi's Woolly World. Because it was different. It felt very different from what we normally get. But I mean, it's too damn samey. So I'm like, until you change up how this game works and do something different, I'm not gonna get it. I haven't gotten a Mario Party game in years because they got very samey.
Good luck getting no Yoshi titles at all then, because if it's flops because of you, then
one consumer. It flops because of one consumer.
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't flop because of one consumer.
Because one consumer can also be the leader of the sheep flock.
And here's the most important fact. First of all, Yoshi's not that good in games where he's by himself. Yoshi's good when he's with somebody else, like when he's with Mario or when he's basically when he's with Mario, he sucks by himself.
And you just triggered a bunch of Yoshi's Island fans.
Like I said, I already said I never liked Yoshi's Island. It feels too samey to me. It's like, and I know Tezuka Takashi gets mad when you say that, but I mean, the same shitty flutter jump, butt stomps, eating enemies, turning into eggs. I mean, do something different, man. Shit. But that's just me, you know.
Mario does the exact same things in his 3D games.
Yeah, but Mario's moveset isn't the highlight of a Mario game. It's the level design. Whereas the Yoshi's Islands levels designs isn't that good to me. I've never felt they feel trippy. They aren't like, oh my god, this is the tightest platforming I've ever seen. It's like, this is just weird, and I don't like this. It doesn't feel fun to traverse this world. Like you play. I mean, the best example I can give you is look at Super Mario World and then look at Yoshi's Island. Super Mario World, there are levels in that game where you're just bouncing off of enemy to enemy to enemy, and the jumps feel good, organic. You almost get into a rhythm. You cannot do that in Yoshi's Island because it's not designed that way. It's designed more for, like, you have to be more cautious about what's coming up. There's exploration is key, but I mean, a lot of the levels are auto scrolling, so you gotta be aware of what's going on. Ironically, Yoshi, for being a dinosaur that runs on 2 legs, isn't nearly as agile as Mario. And then you've got the whole baby Mario crying thing, which is just fucking annoying sometimes. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't want something, don't buy it. Okay? If you don't like the way something's going, don't buy it. You know, and that's just, I mean, you know. You know, that's like saying, man, I eat at this restaurant and I used to have a good time there, but I don't want them to close down. But for the last 3 years, every time I eat here, I get food poisoning. but I need to buy their food that's going to give me food poisoning because I want them to stay open. No. That's no. No. If they aren't catering to your needs as a consumer, don't buy the product.
And say goodbye to Star Fox and Metroid then.
Look, man, I'm saying the same thing Liger says. Speak with your wallet. If you don't want to support it, don't buy it.
Of course.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell someone to buy shit just so that on the hope that eventually it'll become better. Like, don't, because I've done that. I did that with the Paper Mario series. I bought Sticker Star. That game sucks. It's ass. It is literally the worst game in the series. And people are like, well, you know, the Color Star one's better. It's better. It's like the second. It's still not the best one in the series. Like, it's you know.
Better than Zero Edition.
I would, if I had to rate from best to worst, I would have to go Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario, the original for the N64, Super Paper Mario is number 3, Color Splash number 4, and Sticker Star number 5. But it's still near the bottom. Like, Color Splash is not that good. You don't have party members. Time to Attack is kind of still there, but not really. I mean, like Color Splash takes some of the aspects from Sticker Star and some of the aspects from Super Paper Mario, and then tries to add more RPG elements to it, but it kind of just doesn't really, you know, kind of falls apart a little bit. It's kind of sad, but you know, it is what it is. Don't be like me. Don't support shit that's going downhill, because you're not going to help make it better, because they're going to think, yeah, well, we got their money. They must like this shit. So don't.
Well, if you don't buy them, they'll think that they don't. And then they'll think that nobody wants that series anymore, and they'll just cancel it.
They'll retool it.
Just like what they did with Chibi Robo.
They'll retool it and try something different, and it'll work or it'll fail.
Nah, they'll still.
Which they did with Chibi Robo. The first Chibi Robo is really good, but it was too weird for the audience. The second Chibi Robo for the DS is a little bit better, but it's basically like it's kind of like slimmed down because it's on the DS. And then the third Chibi Robo is a platformer, and it's okay, but I mean, okay. I'm one of those people. I like obscure games, so my favorite Chibi Robo is the first one. This third one I felt alienated because the aspect of Chibi Robo, like, had they made that game more of like a Metroidvania, so level based, it probably would have been better. But they made it level based, and it kind of falls apart a little bit. But whatever, you know. But I mean, it's good. It's good that we're having this. It's good that we're having this discussion about it, because I mean, you know, that's a good question. Should you support a franchise that's going downhill on the hopes that it'll get better?
Yeah, because if you don't support it, that means they'll just kill it off entirely rather than making them better.
So by that logic, Final Fantasy, that has been shit for Final Fantasy X-2, Final Fantasy 13, and all 3 of those games, and arguably Final Fantasy 15.
Because if a game doesn't sell,
we should just keep on giving them our money, on the hopes that it'll eventually get better, even though evidence shows it has not gotten better.
Because by that logic, we would have. I mean, remember that there was a statement that Ziplash would have been Chibi Robo's very last game if it doesn't sell well. And
well, I think it sold okay. I mean, it was a low-budget game. It wasn't a AAA budget game.
It's still flopped. I did hear that it's still flopped. So.
Well, let me look at the sales numbers, because I mean, you know, Chibi Robo, Ziplash.
See, told you so.
No, I haven't seen the. The photo fighter. Yeah, that kind of sucked. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't tell me the sales numbers. Here, I'll go look it up on. Shit. Chibi Robo's Ziplash sales. So let's see. Total sales. Everywhere it sold 300,000. So made its money back, but didn't sell gangbusters. It's not terrible.
Though you're trying to get as dope.
I mean, if you
don't you need to get at least double the that games in order to be the success?
No, if you're selling it for $39, which if I remember correctly, that game without the amiibo was selling for $39. With the amiibo, I think it was like $50, like $49.99. So basically, $40 game multiplied by 300,000. See, $40 times 300,000. I mean, they made $12 million on it, and I don't think that game cost $12 million to make. I mean, you know, take out manufacturing development. That game probably cost like at the most $5 million to make, so they made a profit on it. Maybe not as much as they wanted, but I mean, that's not like, I mean, you know, that's like me saying, hey man, I made $12 million in profit. Not enough. Not enough. I generate $12 million in revenue. I mean, I must be running my business. That project must have been run pretty badly if that's not profitable. Just Chibi Robo is going to have to be a smaller project. We won't be getting the huge games that, you know, were open world kind of exploratory titles. Oh well, I like Chibi Robo. I like the original one. I'm one of the people that bought that damn game when it first came out, so I understand. But your thoughts, Jewel? And she fell asleep on us again. Yeah, I kind of have to disagree with you. Like you can't continue to pump money into something that is failing, especially when it's demonstrated a pattern of going downhill. Because eventually it goes from you're trying to rehabilitate something to them them realizing that they don't have to get any better because you're gonna give them your money anyway. I mean, why do you think Madden's been shit for years? FIFA's been shit for years because
I could say the exact same thing as Pokemon because not a single recent Pokemon title has reached the same amount of sales as the originals.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but I mean, consistently over all of them, they're still high selling. Maybe not as much as the original, but they're still high selling. Like X and Y, I think in total between the two of them sold almost 30 million. I don't know how well Sun and Moon did, or the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, but I know that like they did comparable to X and Y, maybe a little bit less, but still decently. I mean, if you're selling like over 20 million units of a game, even though there's like two versions and all that shit, that's still really, really impressive. The only people who get those types of sales numbers, third-party wise, is maybe no, I would say Activision and maybe EA with their Madden and FIFA games, and Activision with Call of Duty, and GTA maybe. I mean, those are GTA numbers. So, I mean, you know, I give props, but I mean, you know, Pokemon basically gives you a consistent level of what you know what you're going to get. The only Pokemon game that's drastically changed that is maybe Sun and Moon to an extent. But the rest of them, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a decent single player story and a great multiplayer. And that's gotten better because online has become easier, so you don't need a link cable anymore. You can just hook up to the internet and fight other people through the online thing. So, I mean, you know, Pokemon has been getting consistently better, and I give points to that. Even though, you know, core gamers old hat Pokemon people don't think that it's been getting better. But, you know, and even when they do kind of make a mistake, they try to rectify it later on down the line, which is amazing because, like I said, you look at FIFA, you look at Madden, it's been going like, yeah, it's selling, but I mean, you basically get the same shit every year with very few changes.
And more bugs.
Yeah, so I mean, should we continue like I said, it's a good discussion. Should we continue to support something that's failing, hoping that it'll turn around? Or I mean, which point does it become I'm hoping that it'll get better and it tacks into gullibility and you're just giving people your money for an inferior product? You know, where's that dividing line? I think the hard part is finding that dividing line. Like, are the developers trying to get better? Are they trying to make this franchise better? Or are they just taking advantage of us? You know? Now, knock on wood, Nintendo hasn't really been like that, except with maybe Mario Party. I'm sorry, Mario Party. Mario.
Oh, now that you've mentioned Mario Party, people have actually praised the newest title.
Yeah, well, I was about to say the newest one is the newest. You know, it has online. The games look different from the usual. Buying, you know, mostly. I want to see how it plays in TV mode. But you know, it is what it is. I guess. I mean, it's 9:02. You want to wrap things up? It's 9:02 where I am. You want to wrap things up?
Let's see. All I have to say is that I've got several Smash-related articles in my mind to post, though I'm struggling which ones I should post first.
Fair enough. Joel? Dragon?
I guess I'll get this out of the way. I guess between the Smash 4 and this game's, I guess, lifespan, it would be enough time for them to get like a bunch of new content that weren't in Smash 4. Yeah.
I just want some new characters. And Ridley's a good start. I would like to see some Square Enix characters aside from Cloud Strife in there, like maybe Chrono or Frog
or Geno. I'm just waiting for King Karol to appear. And then
King Karol.
And I'll be completely satisfied with the roster.
Samus. I mean, I'll take any of them. Really, I'll take any of them. I just want some surprises, and I just want Smash to have some surprise characters that I don't see coming, which they always tend to do, except last year where they gave me Cloud Strife and I was pissed, and a good single player. That's all I need. Just a good single player. Just good. Not, you know, literally you could just take Brawl single player and just maybe update it a little bit, maybe make it a little bit longer, maybe have some neat platforming sequences where the gravity's reversed and you're running upside down and some junk. I don't know. kind of like from Mario Galaxy, and I'll be happy. I'm not asking for a lot here. You can just port Subspace Emissary. I'd be happy with those characters, with the new characters. But yeah, that's what I want. That's the end of this podcast. Jewel is going through some technical difficulties. Sorry. So I'm not going to give her a sign off, but happy Father's Day from all of us. Go to Video Game Facts. There's some wonderful articles there. Stay away from orange juice, even though next week's
Splatfest is going to be OJ related. So
it's about orange juice.
So beware the pulp orange juice and go without pulp, which I'll be part of.
I think both of them are pretty bad. I mean, in real life, orange juice is fucking delicious, but the beverage, the person, he's a little sour. But with that being said, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned. We will definitely be doing another podcast next week. And we might do, and the Sci-Fi Power Hour-ish has been moved from this week to next week.
Yeah,
we're going to get back to doing it.
Because I forgot to tell Mr. Redfox I won't be here. Yes, I wasn't here yesterday.
No, it's okay. And we're going to be talking about, someone is probably going to do a review of
Fallen Kingdom, which I'll be watching this week.
Well, I'm going to say The Incredibles 2 because I haven't seen it and I don't plan on watching it. So if someone's seen it, give a review about it.
I just seen it today. So I'll do that.
Someone can give a review about it because I haven't seen it. That being said, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you and have a good day or night or whatever. Happy Father's Day, folks.